Hello friends, welcome back to the series of lecture. This is the 42nd lecture of this series of Indian Evidence Act. And we are continuing with the topic admissions. And we had looked upon the section 17 in the previous lecture. And also look at the background of the section 18. Now read section 18. Statements made by a party to the proceedings. They are saying party to the proceedings. A statement made by a party to the proceedings. Or by an agent to any such party. Or by an agent to any such party, who the court regards under the circumstances of the case as expressly or impliedly authorized by him to make them are admissions. So statements made by the party to the suits or proceeding, statement made by a party to the suit or proceedings, or made by an agent whom the court considers duly authorized. The statements of a party or agent. A statement of a party or his agent will be considered admission provided section 17 ka conditions are fulfilled. Now you see one point you have to keep in mind here. For to be an agent, you don't need to be a formally authorized agent. There can be a casual delegations of powers also that may also create a person as a agent. अब जैसे आप मेरे फ्रेंड हो और मैंने कहा कि जाओ तुम बात कर लो मेरी तरफ से। अब तुमने मेरी तरफ से जाके बात किया और कुछ स्टेटमेंट कर दिया। अब कल को अगर सूट होता है मेरे और दूसरे पार्टी के बीच में, अब मैंने तो स्टेटमेंट नहीं किया था, तुमने किया था, बट यू आर नॉट फॉर्मली अ एजेंट। फॉर्मल एजेंट किसको मान सकते हैं? दोज हू आर एम्प्लॉयड, डे टू डे वर्क देख रहा है या फिर पर्टिकुलर वर्क देख रहा है ऑन पर्टिकुलर ओकेजन्स। बट इस पर्टिकुलर ओकेजन में, इस पर्टिकुलर इंस्टेंस में, सिंस आई एम डेलीगेटिंग दैट पावर टू यू, देयरफॉर टेम्परेली यू बिकेम माई एजेंट। तो इसके लिए आप एक सेंटेंस लिख लीजिए, राइट डाउन, इन ऑर्डर टू बी एन एजेंट it is not essential that the party concerned should have formally create an agency with that person. Rather, it would be sufficient that a casual delegation of authority was given to that person. So that was the first part, first para, that there should be an agent or the party himself. Agent can be any person. There is no need of formal delegation of powers for considering an agent. Now next para. Statement made by parties to suits. Statements made by parties to suits suing or sued in a representative character are not admissions. Means that person who is a representative, his statement is not a admission, not an admission, unless they were made while the party making them held that character, and that I have already explained to you in the previous lecture. Means एक व्यक्ति का statement in a representative suit, if a person who is a representative, if a person is a representative in a representative suit, his statement will not consider to be an admission unless when he made the statement, that statement was made in his representative capacity. मतलब जब वो रिप्रेजेंटेटिव बन गया था और तब उसने रिप्रेजेंटेटिव होने के नाते वो स्टेटमेंट किया था, then it will be admission. Now फर्स्ट पैरा के लिए आप एक एग्जांपल देख लो. सपोज देयर इज अ जॉइंट फैमिली, सपोज देयर इज अ जॉइंट हिंदू फैमिली. अब उसमें एफ एस वन, FS2 and so forth, and F is what? F is Karta, senior most member. Will the Karta will be considered to be an agent to all these co-partners FS, FS1, FS2. Karta will be considered to be an agent for all these co-partners, and therefore if the Karta had made some statement and there is a suit between the joint family and someone else, then the Karta's statement will be considered to be an admission. उसी तरीके से एक पार्टनरशिप फर्म का सोच लो आप। अब उस मान लो एक पार्टनरशिप फर्म है और उस पार्टनरशिप फर्म में ए, बी और सी पार्टनर्स हैं। अब दे आर म्यूचुअल एजेंट्स, पार्टनर्स आर कंसिडर्ड टू बी म्यूचुअल एजेंट्स। अब सी ने मान लो कोई एक स्टेटमेंट किया, एंड टुमारो देयर इज अ सूट बिटवीन ए एंड डी। ए इज द एक्टिव पार्टनर। उस पार्टनरशिप फर्म से रिलेटेड ए और डी के बीच में एक सूट हुआ है। अब ए एक्टिंग पार्टनर है, ही इज कंटेस्टिंग द सूट अगेंस्ट डी। ए एक्टिंग पार्टनर है, ही विल कंटेस्ट द सूट अगेंस्ट डी। अब नाउ will the statement of C be considered to be an admission here? Since as per partnership, each of the partner is agent of each other, therefore अगर किसी भी पार्टनर का अगर कोई स्टेटमेंट है और वो उस सूट में या प्रोसीडिंग में किसी एक फैक्ट इन इशू या रेलिवेंट फैक्ट के लिए इन्फ्रेंस ड्रॉ कर रहा है, then that statement will be relevant even though that partner directly is not a party to the suit. एक पार्टनर अगर सूट कर रहा है किसी पार्टनरशिप फर्म के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में, the suit is in reference to the partnership firm, then the other partners, if any of them made a statement, then that statement will be considered to be an admission if section 17 is satisfied, even though in the suit the other partner is the party. Similarly, in the example of Karta, when the Karta made a statement and Karta is considered to be an agent of that family, हालांकि इसको आप रिप्रेजेंटेटिव सूट के तौर पे भी मान सकते हो। Karta also represents the entire family, रिप्रेजेंटेटिव सूट भी मान सकते हो इसको आप, या फिर पहले पैराग्राफ में एजेंसी के तौर पे भी ला सकते हो। So either ways means he made a statement, he is acting as a agent or he was representing as a representative, and if in that capacity he made a statement, his statement will be an admission in that particular suit. अब यहाँ तक तो ये ठीक है, पैरा 1 and पैरा 2 it is rule of privity. Para 1 and para 2 are the rule of privity. But when you get into para 3 and 4 in the point number 1 and 2, then that is the exception to the rule of privity. अब यहाँ पर आप देखोगे then some third person is making the statement, and still the statements are relevant if it is an admission under section 17. Read it. Statements made by persons who have any proprietary or pecuniary interest in the subject matter of the proceeding and who make the statement in their character of persons so interested. Statements made by persons who have any proprietary or pecuniary interest in the subject matter of the proceeding and who make the statement in their character of persons so interested. अब यहाँ पर देखो जिस व्यक्ति की भी ये बात कर रहे हैं, this person is not a party to the suit or proceeding. He is a third person. And he make a statement. So his statement will also be an admission even though the suit is between A and B and he himself is C. And C is not an agent of A and B. He is not representative of A and B. He is some third person. His statement will also be an admission. For the purpose between a suit between A and B, provided what? He himself has pecuniary or proprietary interest in the subject matter of the suit. Now take an example. Suppose एक लैंडलॉर्ड है और टेनेंट है. N is a landlord and R is a tenant. अब N और R के बीच में कोई सूट नहीं है. अब there is a conflict between A and N, and A is claiming that this property belongs to him, and N is telling that this property belongs to him, and R is whom? The tenant. अब A और N के बीच that proceeding is there. A claims that property is mine and N claims that property is mine. Now R has a proprietary interest or not? R has the proprietary interest in the subject matter or not? The right to possess and the right to enjoy. R is having the right to possess and right to enjoy. So R has the interest, the existing proprietary interest in the property, and therefore he falls in the point 1 here. अब suppose R had made a statement regarding this suit property. R एक इस प्रॉपर्टी के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में कोई स्टेटमेंट करता है और R कहता है कि that my landlord is not actual landlord of this property, he is having a defective title. R ने इनके बारे में कहा कि मैंने इनका टाइटल देखा है and that title is defective, so he is not the proper owner. अब इसके लिए थोड़ा सा आप 116 एविडेंस एक्ट में जाओगे तो you cannot decide the title of the landlord, but I am not getting into that point right now. My point is simply that R makes a statement that the title of N is defective. अब in that suit, can R का statement, can the statement of the tenant be used as an admission against N? कि देखो R ने भी बोला था कि N का टाइटल नहीं है और वो तुम्हारा टेनेंट है, and R is having existing pecuniary interest in the proprietary interest in the property. तो यहाँ पर the statement made by R, even though he is not a party to the suit, that will be considered to be an admission. इसको आप फिर से पढ़ लीजिए. Read. Statements made by persons who have any proprietary or pecuniary interest in the subject matter of the proceeding and who make the statement in their character of person so interested कि जब आपने स्टेटमेंट किया तो आप उस प्रॉपर्टी में इंटरेस्टेड थे और इसीलिए स्टेटमेंट किया. यू आर इंटरेस्टेड इन द proprietary or pecuniary interest and you made the statement because of that. So in that case your statement will be admission. Even if you are a third person, you are not party to the suit. And that third person is not acting as an agent of any of the party. Like in this example, R is not acting as an agent of any of them, A or N. He is not acting as an agent when he is making the statement. When he was making a statement, he was not acting as an agent. अगर agent की तरह बोल रहा होता तब तो matter falls in the first paragraph. But here, R is not agent of landlord. He is having his independent rights. When he is holding that property, he is holding by the tenancy agreement, and he is not acting as an agent of the landlord. Now see the next one. Persons from whom the parties to the suit have derived their interest in the subject matter of the suit. अब ये कोई और है. Persons from whom the parties to the suit have derived their interest in the subject matter of the suit. अब पहले वाला क्या था? That person is having the pecuniary or proprietary interest in that. The person is having a pecuniary or proprietary interest existing in that, and he makes the statement. But here they are saying that the parties derived their interest from some person, and that person had made a statement regarding the subject matter. And he made the statement when? When his interest to the subject matter existed. ये जो आगे पढ़ोगे आप मिल जाएगा। इफ दे आर मेड ड्यूरिंग द कंटिन्यूएंस ऑफ द इंटरेस्ट, if they are made during the continuance of the interest of the person making the statements. So, persons from whom the parties to the suit have derived their interest in the subject matter of the suit are admissions if they are made during the continuance of the interest of the persons making the statements. If they are made, if the statements are made during the continuance of the interest of the continuance of the interest of the person making the statement. अब इसका एग्जांपल देता हूं मैं आपको। मान लो देयर इज वन एफ and having a son fs. Now f has died. F is died. Now there is one a who holds the property of f. A holds the property of f और fs को प्रॉपर्टी नहीं दे रहा. He is not giving property to fs. Now fs files a suit against a. Fs files a suit against a and claims the property that on the basis of that I am legal heir of my father. F, class 1 successor of F. So I should get the property. And A is the stranger. A is the third person. Now the suit is between Fs and A. Now A says that your father sold the property to me. A says that your father had sold the property to me. Then how would you get the property down after his death? And Fs says that I have not, we have not sold and the property belongs to me upon his death and I am the legal heir and therefore you please give me the property. Fs कहता है कि मैं पिताजी के बाद सक्सेसर हूँ तो प्रॉपर्टी मुझे मिलेगी और A कहता है कि तुम्हारे पिताजी ने प्रॉपर्टी को बेच दिया था मुझे। अब F ने जब वो जिंदा था, when F was alive, he had before selling the property to anyone, he had made some statement to a friend, some friend B. B was a friend of F. F ने जब जिंदा था, जब प्रॉपर्टी का मालिक खुद था, when he was the owner of the property, he had made a statement to B that I am thinking that I must sell my property to A because I am in dire need of some money. क्योंकि मुझे कुछ रुपयों की ज़रूरत है तो मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि प्रॉपर्टी को A को बेच दूँ और उसके लिए मैंने सेल डीड वगैरह तैयार करवा लिया है। अब B was a friend of F and F tells to B that I am thinking of selling of my property to A because I am in dire need of money and A will give me the money and I have prepared the sale deeds. अभी उसने बेचा नहीं है, बेचने वाला है, means what right now his interest is still there in the property. Right now the interest of F is still there in the property. He has not sold it. He is about to sell it. So he has the interest. When he makes the statement that I am selling the property and taking money from someone and I have got the sale deed prepared. अब अगर यहाँ पर A इस सूट में A उस स्टेटमेंट को प्रूव कर देता है, if A go on to prove that statement, then will it not go in favor of A कि उसका फादर भी प्रॉपर्टी बेचना चाह रहा था? Will it not suggesting an inference regarding the subject matter that property may have sold to A? So that is where the statement of F becomes relevant. That is where the statement of F becomes relevant. Relevant मतलब it is an admission. Relevant तो बाद में देखेंगे. That is where the statement of F becomes an admission. समझ में आया कि नहीं आया? इसने क्या बोला है? इसने बोला है मरने से पहले बी को बोला है कि मैं अपनी प्रॉपर्टी किसी को बेचना चाहता हूँ, ए को बेचना चाहता हूँ। क्यों बेचना चाहता हूँ? क्योंकि मुझे पैसों की ज़रूरत है और मैंने सेल डीड वगैरह तैयार कर लिया है and therefore I want to sell the property to A and therefore I want to sell the property to A because I need money and therefore I got the sale deed prepared. then is it not suggesting that he is about to sell the property to A? Now I am not saying that it is a conclusive proof. I am simply saying that this statement, which may suggest an inference about the fact in issue in the case, and therefore it will be an admission. अब और बेटर एग्जांपल चाहिए तो वो भी देख लो. Now suppose F is the owner of this piece of land. F is his son, and there is one A who got a right to passage from this land. There is some A who got the right to passage from this land. Ab F, while he was alive and was the owner of that land, he had made a statement, F had made a statement to B that this is my land and A has the right to passage from this land. F ने मरने से पहले जब वो जिंदा था और खुद ओनर था, means his interest on the property was there, proprietary interest, ownership interest was there, and while he was alive he made a statement to B that this is my land and A has the right to passage through this land. Now F dies, F मर गया. अब F के मरने के बाद FS becomes the owner of the land. FS is his son of F. FS becomes the owner of the land after the death of F. Now FS refuses for the right to passage. FS declines the right to passage to A. अब FS A को right to passage नहीं दे रहा. अब A filed a suit against FS claiming that easementary right. A filed a suit against FS claiming of the easementary right. Now here, what is the fact in issue? Whether the F has the easementary right or not. Sorry, whether the A has the easementary right or not. Whether A has the right to passage or not. So now F, who had the proprietary interest. The proprietary interest when he made the statement. When he had made the interest, then he has the proprietary interest because he is still of the owner of the property. While he is having the proprietary interest, he made a statement, and that statement is suggesting an inference regarding the fact in issue of the present suit, which is between FS and A, and therefore that will be an admission for this purpose. So hope by this example you have understood. So let's see an overview of section 18. In section 18, the first thing is that the party himself may have made the statement, and if it is an agent, he has made the statement. Now agent may not be a formal agent, he can be a temporary agent also. Then representative, he have made the statement in his capacity, and this is what the admissions, what is called the rule of privity, if the admissions are made by these. अब exceptions to the rule of privity क्या है? Exceptions में पहला, any third person who has an interest, whether proprietary or pecuniary interest in the property. Any third person who has existing interest. Any third person who has existing proprietary or pecuniary interest in the property. अब इसमें लैंडलॉर्ड और टेनेंट वाला एग्जांपल दिया था मैंने. टेनेंट ने स्टेटमेंट किया था रिगार्डिंग द सब्जेक्ट मैटर ऑफ द सूट. अब दूसरा है एनी थर्ड पर्सन. आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट हु इज डेड, इट कैन बी ए सेलर ऑल्सो. सो एनी थर्ड पर्सन हु इज नो मोर हैविंग अ राइट अपॉन द सब्जेक्ट मैटर. अब he made a statement while he has the right. पहले जब उसके पास right था तब उसने वो statement किया था. Means when he had the pecuniary or proprietary interest. When the third person had the pecuniary or proprietary interest, then he had made the statement. अब इसमें एक एग्जाम्पल था, एक तो सेल वाला एग्जाम्पल देखा था और दूसरा ये एग्जाम्पल इजमेंटरी राइट वाला, दैट इज राइट टू पैसेज. अब these two, ये थर्ड पर्सन वाला जो केस है, these two are called the exception to the rule of privity. These two are called the exceptions to the rule of privity. Now let's see next sections. First of all, see section 20. Now 19 and 20 are also the exceptions to the rule of privity. Read 20. Statements made by persons. Statement made by persons to whom a party to the suit has expressly referred for information in reference to a matter in dispute are admissions. Statements made by persons to whom a party to the suit has expressly referred for information in reference to a matter in dispute are admissions. अब कई बार क्या होता है, आपके पास आया कोई पूछने के लिए कुछ, आप बोलते हो मुझसे क्या पूछते हो, जाकर उससे पूछ लो। अब जैसे ये मोबाइल फ़ोन मेरा है कि नहीं, आपने मुझसे पूछा और मैंने बोल दिया कि मुझसे क्या पूछते हो, उससे पूछ लो, किसी और तीसरे का नाम बता दिया, और आप गए उससे पूछा तो वो कहता है कि हाँ ये उसी का है. सो दिस थर्ड पर्सन इज a kind of referee, umpire, that I have directed you to a third person, that whatever he says will be correct. Means I am undertaking whatever he says will be acceptable to me also. Means जो मैं कहता हूँ कि जाओ उससे पूछ लो, then means what? That I am declaring impliedly that whatever he says, that is acceptable to me also. That person will be called an umpire or referee. Now see the illustration. The question is whether a horse sold by A to B is sound. The question is whether a horse sold by A to B is sound. अब A says to B, go and ask C. C knows all about it. अब C कौन है? C becomes a kind of umpire between A and B. अब B will go to C and he asked C. Yes, then C said that yes, the horse is very fine. अब कल को if the horse is found to be not to be fine, horse found that it is not fine, it is not sound. अब देखो B files a suit against A claiming compensation damages or maybe cheating कि तुमने साउंड बताकर मुझे हॉर्स बेचा था, यू सेल इट. अब ए कहता है आई नेवर said that it is sound. He said that I never admitted. Did you not admit? He said that I never admit. Did your umpire admit? Then it will say yes. जिसके पास आपने रेफर किया था उसने एडमिट किया था, yes. जिसके पास आपने खुद रेफर किया था, so that statement of the referee will be admission. Now the question is whether a horse sold by A to B is sound. The question is whether a horse sold by A to B is sound. अब A says to B, go and ask C, and C knows all about it. अब C's statement is an admission. अब मान लीजिए किसी दो व्यक्ति के बीच में कोई डिस्कशन हो रहा है, अब उनमें से किसी एक ने किसी थर्ड व्यक्ति के लिए रेफर कर दिया कि थर्ड पर्सन जो भी कहेगा उस सब्जेक्ट मैटर को लेकर उस थर्ड पर्सन का स्टेटमेंट विल बी कंसिडर्ड टू बी एडमिशन. अब एडमिशन ऑन हुज बिहाफ, जिसने रेफर किया था, एडमिशन ऑन हिज बिहाफ, जिसने उसको रेफर किया था थर्ड पर्सन के पास, एडमिशन ऑन हिज बिहाफ. अब दिस थर्ड पर्सन इज नॉट अ पार्टी टू द सूट, सो दिस सेक्शन इज ऑल्सो एन एक्सेप्शन टू द रूल ऑफ प्रिविटी. आप कह सकते हो एजेंट, बट एजेंट नहीं है क्योंकि मैंने सिर्फ रेफर किया, उसको एजेंट नहीं बनाया. आई जस्ट रेफर कि उससे पूछ लो. सो ही कैन नॉट बी कॉल्ड एन एजेंट ऑल्सो, एंड देयरफॉर इट इज सेपरेट सेक्शन एंड इट विल नॉट फॉल अंडर 18 clause 1. उसको आप एजेंट भी नहीं बताओगे. अब नाउ केम टू सेक्शन 19. अब सेक्शन 19 आपको वैसे समझ में नहीं आएगा जब तक आप इलस्ट्रेशन नहीं पढ़ोगे. रीड इट. दे आर सेइंग स्टेटमेंट्स मेड बाय पर्सन्स whose position or liability. अब let us take for example A, B and C. There are three persons A, B and C. Statements made by persons whose position or liability it is necessary to prove as against any party to the suit are admissions. अब मान लो ए और बी के बीच सूट चल रहा है, ए और बी के बीच सूट चल रहा है, these are party to the suit. अब there is a third person C whose position or liability towards any of them. Suppose whose position or liability towards A is the subject matter of the suit. Statements made by persons whose position or liability it is necessary to prove as against any party to the suit are admissions. अब किसका स्टेटमेंट, इस एग्जाम्पल में किसका स्टेटमेंट? सी का स्टेटमेंट. एंड सी इज इन पोजीशन और लायबिलिटी टू एनी पार्टी टू द सूट. अब ए की जगह हो सकता है बी की जगह लायबल हो, बी के लिए लायबल हो एनी ऑफ द पार्टी, और या फिर ए के लिए लायबल हो, बी के लिए नहीं हो, एनी पार्टी. रीड इट अगेन. स्टेटमेंट्स मेड बाय पर्सन्स हुज पोजीशन और लायबिलिटी. Statements made by persons whose position or liability it is necessary to prove as against any party to the suit are admissions. If such statements would be relevant, अब ये कह रहे हैं कि ए और बी के बीच में सूट है, लेकिन स्टेटमेंट किसका? सी का. अब ये सूट किस बात पर डिपेंड करता है? इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन सीज लायबिलिटी towards A, any of the party. If we take A, तो अगर C A की ओर लायबल है तो फिर A और C का सूट, A और B का सूट डिटरमिन हो जाएगा. अब C is not the party to the suit. It is only the liability of C towards A. It is only a matter of liability towards A. अब अगर वो लायबिलिटी प्रूव कर दोगे, if it is proved liability, then the suit will be determined. अब ये सी जो है उसने कोई स्टेटमेंट किया था. अब देखिए आगे क्या कह रहे हैं. स्टेटमेंट्स मेड बाय पर्सन्स हुज पोजीशन और लायबिलिटी इट इज नेसेसरी टू प्रूव एज अगेंस्ट एनी पार्टी टू द सूट आर एडमिशंस if such statements would be relevant as against such persons in relation to such position or liability in a suit brought by or against them, and if they are made when the person making them occupies such position or is subject to such liability. जब ये सी की लायबिलिटी थी तब सी ने कोई स्टेटमेंट किया था. अब कह रहे हैं कि अगर if A directly filed a suit against C, if A directly filed a suit against C, if A had directly filed a suit against C with respect to that subject matter, so in that case this statement of C, if that would have been relevant in this suit, then in the present suit between A and B, which is between A and B, that statement of C will be relevant. Statements made by persons whose position or liability it is necessary to prove as against any party to the suit. So there are two different parties to the suit, A and B. A और B में किसी बात का सूट है. Now there is third person C who has made the statement. अब statements made by persons whose position or liability, किसका? C's पोजीशन और लायबिलिटी टुवर्ड्स A और B. अब इस एग्जाम्पल में हम मान रहे हैं टुवर्ड्स A. फॉर दिस एग्जाम्पल C's लायबिलिटी इज टुवर्ड्स A, दिस A. अब ये B नीचे लिख रखा है, दिस इज फॉर द इलस्ट्रेशन. जब समझाऊंगा तो उसमें इंटरचेंज कर देंगे इनको. दैट इज आई हैव रिटन हियर B ऑल्सो एंड हियर A ऑल्सो. आई हैव नॉट कट. ये इलस्ट्रेशन समझाऊंगा तब उस टाइम इंटरचेंज होगा. सो फॉर दिस एग्जाम्पल सीज लायबिलिटी टुवर्ड्स A. स्टेटमेंट्स मेड बाय पर्सन्स हुज पोजीशन और लायबिलिटी इट इज नेसेसरी टू प्रूव एज अगेंस्ट एनी पार्टी टू द सूट आर एडमिशंस। मतलब सी का जो स्टेटमेंट है, सी पार्टी नहीं है सूट में, लेकिन सी का जो स्टेटमेंट है वो इस सूट को डिसाइड करने के लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है। अब सी मेड द स्टेटमेंट इन रेफरेंस टू व्हाट? इन रेफरेंस टू हिज लायबिलिटी टुवर्ड्स ए आर एडमिशंस इफ सच स्टेटमेंट्स। अब कंडीशन बता रहे हैं, इफ सच स्टेटमेंट्स वुड बी रेलिवेंट एज अगेंस्ट सच पर्सन्स, would be relevant as against such persons. Against which person? Against the person who made the statement. As against such persons. Such person who made the statement. If such statements would be relevant as against such persons. Against such मतलब against the person who made the statement. Against the person who made the statement. In relation to such position or liability in a suit brought by or against them, and if they are made while the person making them occupies such position or is subject to such liability. So means when she occupies that position, when he was liable, then he made the statement. When he was liable, then he made the statement. अगर today if A filed the suit against C to claim that liability to C, then will the statement of C will be relevant against C? If yes, then इस suit में the C का statement will be considered to be a admission. अब इसको आपको बार बार पढ़ना पड़ेगा। अगर इलिस्ट्रेशन पढ़ोगे तो आपको तुरंत समझ में आ जाएगा, लेकिन बिना इलिस्ट्रेशन के भी इसको पढ़ना जरूरी है। फिर से एक बार देख लेते हैं। मान लो ए और बी के बीच में किसी बात का सूट है, लेकिन ये जो सूट डिसाइड होगा वो इस बात पर होगा कि क्या सी ए की तरफ लायबल है। बी कहता है लायबल नहीं है और ए कहता है लायबल है, इस पर सूट डिसाइड होगा। अब सी इज लायबल और नॉट, दैट इज द क्वेश्चन। अब सी हैड मेड अ स्टेटमेंट regarding his liability, and that statement is such that if A had directly filed the suit against C for that liability, then C's statement, which statement? This one. Then C's statement would have been relevant against whom? Relevant against C. So that is the case when C का statement would be relevant, will be an admission under this suit also. Now see the illustration. Read illustration. A undertakes to collect rents for B. मतलब A B का एजेंट है। इस illustration में B is the principal and A is the agent. A undertakes to collect rents for B. B sues A for not collecting rent due from C to B. B ने A पर सूट कर दिया, किस बात के लिए? कि तुमने C से रेंट नहीं लिया, मतलब यू हैव परफॉर्म्ड योर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नेग्लिजेंटली। यू हैव बीन एम्प्लॉयड फॉर कलेक्टिंग रेंट एंड यू हैव नेग्लिजेंट इन परफॉर्मिंग योर ड्यूटीज। अब A says that rent is not due. That person already pays the rent. But B says that he has not paid the rent. Read it. A denies that rent was due from C to B. A का कहना है कि C का कोई रेंट ड्यू था ही नहीं, तो मैं कलेक्ट क्यों करूं? अब C इज अ थर्ड पर्सन। B ने सूट किया A के ऊपर, क्लेमिंग डैमेजेस फॉर द ब्रीच ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बिकॉज यू डिड नॉट कलेक्ट द रेंट। बट A सेज कि C के ऊपर कोई रेंट नहीं है। अब देखो आगे, A स्टेटमेंट बाय C दैट ही ओड B रेंट। अब यहाँ पर C ने स्टेटमेंट कर रखा है दैट एक स्टेटमेंट कर रखा है दैट आई ओ द रेंट, मीन्स आई हैव टू पे द रेंट। अब C ने खुद ही कह रखा है दैट आई ओ द रेंट। अब इन दिस सूट विल दिस स्टेटमेंट ऑफ C बी an admission. Yes. Why? Because if B has directly filed a suit against C, if B has directly filed a suit against C, then this statement of C would have been relevant against C. तो अगर सूट करता है बी सी पर और उसमें कहता है सी कि देख नहीं मेरा कोई रेंट ड्यू नहीं है, बट यहाँ पर जो पहले का स्टेटमेंट था सी का, पहले जो सी कह चुका है दैट आई हैव रेंट ड्यू against B, then obviously that will be relevant against him. And if that be the case, then the statement of C would be relevant in this suit also. Now, a statement by C that he owed B rent, is an admission and is relevant fact as against A. If A denies that C did owe rent to B. अब ये जो C है इसका स्टेटमेंट सूट में किसके खिलाफ इस्तेमाल किया जाएगा? A के खिलाफ. A कह रहा है देयर इज नो रेंट और C कह रहा है देयर इज रेंट ड्यू, एंड देयरफॉर द स्टेटमेंट ऑफ C विल बी एडमिशन एंड दैट विल बी यूज्ड अगेंस्ट A. अब इस पर लिख लो थोड़ा, इस इलस्ट्रेशन पे राइट डाउन. In the present case, the statement made by C is regarding his liability towards B, and in fact, he has agreed that he is liable towards B. Here, the question in the suit between A and B is whether C was liable towards B or not, and whether A was entitled to collect the rent from C or not. Here, if B had filed a suit directly against C, then the statement of C would have been relevant against C. Therefore, in the present suit of B against A, also the statement of C will be considered to be an admission. So that's it for this section. इसको बार बार रिवाइज करिएगा आप या वरना भूल जाओगे. That's it for this lecture also. Thank you for watching lecture.